I've been getting tons of emails and comments of people wanting to see what I have, so you guys better start freaking out because I'm finally doing it. And so I'll be going through some of the best stuff I have. Well, all the stuff I have here is the best of that product or whatever, because I have duplicates of many things like haversacks and belts and stuff like that. And remember, I'm one of about 3 other guys that do the movies with me, and so this isn't everything that you see on screen. However, it's roughly half of it. But again, this isn't all my stuff, just the good stuff that everyone really wants to see. So here we go. And there it is. We'll start with this stuff up here, and this is my blank firing M3 grease gun. If it wasn't for the fact that it's blank firing and made out of plastic, people would think it's real. This is the same one you can get on WorldWar2Guns.com if any of you are curious to finally see what this thing looks like. But just like the M3A1 grease gun, the cocking mechanism is the bolt itself. Only the M3 actually started out with a cocking mechanism. It was a little bar that came out right there, and you'd pull it back. Or is it down? I can't remember. It's not worth remembering. But anyways, due to some design malfunction flaws, they just built it in right here, which you'd pull it back like so. And there you can see the clip and everything. And just like the real gun, you can dry fire it. And that thing's power. Yeah. And here's some M1944 or design. The design of the M1944 goggles. These are actually modern. You've seen like in Black Hawk Down and stuff. You'll see that I'll refer to a lot of movies. Just not everyone knows the technical name or where to look for these kind of things. So I'll be referring to movies in which you can see them. This is the classic 10-pouch M1 Garand belt. This one I picked up on eBay for $40. eBay is a great tool if you know how to use it. It's always a good idea to search, physically put in what you're actually looking for. But then again, it's also a good idea to actually type in what you're looking, the description of what it looks like, because you'll have people that don't know what it is, like people trying to get rid of grandpa's stuff in the attic, if you know what I mean. And so they'll label something 10-pouch utility belt. And that's what this was labeled. I got my hands on it. You can still see the US is fading on there, but this is original. Throughout the thing I'll tell you if it's original or reproduction or not. You used to be able to see, but this said 19 something, and I wasn't able to figure it out, and I went to a friend who specializes in belts, and just by the way, a lot of the design is, I have no clue how to figure this out, but he says it's a 42 dated just by the design and everything. But everything's here, everything works. These lifted dots are pretty tough though. But all the clip retraining straps are there, like so. The World War I belts never had these because in World War I they used the Springfield rifle, not the M1 Garand. And so these big bulky clips that never had to be held in. Another thing you can tell between the belts of World War I and World War II are right here. Instead of these, World War I belts had little dots going up along this, so you could adjust it. If you saw one, you know what I mean, but it's kind of hard. I don't have a good example. They're all torn apart. And here's my BAR belt. And this one is in great shape. The stenciling is excellent right here, in which you can see Charles F. Clarke Incorporated, 1942. This is original. I got this $50 on eBay. It was a bulk. I got 2 of them for it. One of them is currently in the possession of my friend. We kind of split it. The US is crisply stenciled on there. A fun place to go is thrift stores and just dig around, because people will take things there and sell them there too. There's 2 examples of plier kits. This one's empty and it's a post-war. I believe it stated 1951. This is original, and this one is beat up. This is a 45 dated Lee. And what we got right here is a 43 dated canteen cover. And if you guys ever see them, the usual canteen you always see is a black. This is what's called a steel top or a lead top. And what they are is they're a more rare kind of canteen. This one is dated, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, 1918. These were made all through World War I and 2 I believe, I'll have to double check with a friend of mine, but they stopped making the steel top canteens in 1942. And we have a enlisted, specialty enlisted, hence the piping, which is artillery, by the way, because it's red. Envelope cap used on dress uniforms. Right there are two examples of EM belts used to hold up trousers. You have the open buckle style, in which the belt would weave through that, and of course the classic that everyone knows about. And here's a faded Korean War canteen. One way, if it's faded, I couldn't actually tell this until I talked to my friend. It looked two-tone because you have that OD and then what looks to be khaki, which is actually faded OD. But the way to tell between post-war and World War II canteen covers are these pieces of canvas. If it's smaller, not like fat and freaking bulky like this guy right here, this is Korea, or post-war, anything after that. The smaller means it's World War II or before that. Just the rule of thumb. If you notice, I have another steel top in there. This one's a 42 dated. And both those canteens and canteen covers are original, as well as the envelope cap. This is my Jeep cap. This is repro. I have not been able to find an original one that I am willing to pay for. And so this is, yeah, my repro Jeep cap. We got the M1943 shovel and shovel cover. This one, this cover is original, and it is dated 1943, if I can get them open. Boyd 1943, as you can see right there. Not everything in World War II is khaki, contrary to popular belief. And this is my repro cover for my grease gun that I picked up off of IMA USA. It's supposed to be based off of a British-made style, hence the awkward snaps and interesting hookups. And there's my repro holster for my 45, and I have an Airsoft 45 in there because I do not have a real one. Makes me want to cry. I have just never gotten around to getting an original yet. And I picked this up at an antique store that has some repro stuff, and I thought it'd be fun. This is a Field Marshal 43 field cap that the Germans would have. And here's 3 examples of American pistol belts. The first one with the 45 pouch attached to it is original. The other 2 are repros. This one's a very cheap one from Taiwan, and this one actually came from Japan. I got it to a friend that I had initially thought was original, and he informed me, and I was upset. But attached to this is a, I believe, 1918 dated 45 pouch, and in it I have some wood inserts to make it look loaded. You can see right there it's LTD Incorporated 418, which stands for April of 1918, is when it was manufactured. And that is original, along with the belt. The belt is dated 44. You can tell, it will tell you, if on some pistol belts, it will tell you when it was made or dated, right under there. And be warned, a lot of, or most of reproduction for that matter, equipment is dated. However, the manufacturer is usually based off of the creator of that reproduction gear, off of his choice, and it's not an actual manufacturer, and that's how you can tell. This is my original M1910 first aid pouch, and it is dated with, it's not a service number, I'm still trying to figure out what's stamped in there, but it's PBC & Co., or PB & Co., 1917. And it's pretty beat up. I rarely snap it together because it's starting to fray and dry rot right there. I got that from a friend. And here is your classic example of a first aid pouch used in World War II. This one's my 45 day one. My 43 day one's probably in my garage. But these are always nice to get your hands on. Right now they're selling between $5 and $10. You might want to get your hands on those before they get really expensive. Stuff with World War II stuff, just don't wait it out and hope it's get cheaper, because this stuff will always get more expensive.